Hello, MHA owners. What a wild and crazy week 3 was. And we're here to talk all about it. Eric Lansing, Mikey Renault, Todd Diamond. Man, how we doing, fellas? A lot of fun, especially that Monday night game. A lot of close games in the MHA. And man, I don't know. It was just one of those things. I didn't get to see a lot of Sunday. I got to see Sunday night, and that was boring as heck. But definitely saw some action on Monday night. How are we doing, Miguel?
Great. How about that Mark Andrews, huh? Huh?
Alive and well, apparently.
Yeah, I buried him before, in the preseason, in the off season. I was like, oh, he's done. Yeah, he's
Buried
like,
him last week, I think, too, right?
Yeah, you've been burying him for weeks.
Yeah, well, he'll motivate him. I don't know. I mean, am I gonna go pick him up because he scored 2 touchdowns? I don't know.
Well, you can't pick him up. He's on someone's team.
Well, then maybe I have to trade for him. I don't know.
Wow, he buries him one day and he's ready to trade for him the next day.
Nah,
Week to week diamond, that's what we call him.
There we go. Week to week. I like that. That's a good one.
All right. So, what question before we get into the news? How concerned should we be about that Bengals offense? Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown. They all kind of stunk this week. Is it just 1 week, or is this going to be a problem going forward for this Bengals offense? What did you see on Sunday, Todd?
Well, it's working too, but it is a little concerning. It is a little concerning because we've seen Browning, last year and or the year before when Burrow got hurt, but it is a little concerning because at the end of the day, you're like you have probably the best, however you want to frame it, the best wide receiver in Jamar Chase, and you have a very capable running back in Chase Brown. You pay T. Higgins all this money, and when when you don't have to do a whole lot, just get the ball, just try to get the ball to them, get to the playmakers. It's tough, but when the numbers are not, when the production's not there, it is a little concerning. It is a little concerning. I mean, I have Chase Brown in another league, and yeah, it's a little concerning. If I was going to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably like at a 6 right now. I mean, I know it's only week 3, but you've got to, a lot of people have invested, in drafting these players really high, and and obviously Joe Burrow going down, that I know that changes things, but you still want to see a little bit more. You still want to see close to the production, not the production you're going to get with Burrow, but maybe just a smidge lower from it. But when it's down, lower and lower, yeah, it's not good.
What did you see, Miguel, from that game? I know it was a quick deficit against Minnesota. 14 points in the first, 20 in the second, but prime opportunity for Browning to throw passes and get some garbage points to Chase and Brown and T. Higgins, but none of them did really well.
So I think it's more a matter of bad timing with their schedule. So with Jake Browning in there, he's not as quick to process as Burrow, and their offensive line's pretty bad. I think we've seen that already.
Yeah.
And so having him go into his first start at Minnesota, that defense is really good. And so it's not the best of situations for the immediate because, at Minnesota, now they're going to be at Denver. So he's going to get 2 really good pass rushing teams right off the bat with a poor offensive line. And then they have Green Bay coming up too. So for the immediate, I don't like it, but the schedule will soften, and I think things will get better as the season goes.
Yep. One quarterback goes down, and the rest of the offense kind of goes with it. Tough to see. Well, let's get into some news. We got some injuries for sure from this past week 3.
I don't understand what the news is. It's just like, hey, here's a bunch of you can't fix that happened that was horrible.
Well, how about some breaking news, gentlemen? Giants rookie quarterback Jackson Dart will be the starting quarterback in week 4. Teams benching Russell Wilson after just 3 weeks. We saw Malik Neighbors struggle mightily. Is that the reason why they're bringing in Jackson Dart, Miguel? What do you think?
No, I think the reason is that they have 2 home games in a row and they got booed off the field on Sunday night. And so the
Yeah.
coach is trying to do, I mean, Brian Dayball, he's a dead man walking at this point. He's trying to do something to energize his team and save his job. So he's going to throw the rookie in there. They play the Chargers this week, and that could go really poorly against a really good defense for a rookie quarterback in his first start. So, yeah.
So if you're the Malik Neighbors owner, are you feeling better about it, or do you want them to stay with Russell Wilson?
No, I'm if I'm a Malik Neighbors owner, I am feeling better about it just because with Russell Wilson in at quarterback, like we know Russell Wilson knows one thing, it's moonball. And
Yeah.
so at least Neighbors route tree, like I would feel like a guy that's got a decent enough arm like Jackson Dart has. He may throw a lot of interceptions, but he's should be able to get Neighbors the ball. I mean, there was quarterbacks last year like Tommy DeVito that were getting Neighbors the ball. So why can't Jackson Dart?
There you go. Positive thinking. We'll see if it turns things around for Malik Neighbors and that Giants offense, who is, 2 weeks ago looked amazing against Dallas and then just looked awful against Kansas City on Sunday night. More injury news. Lemonheads. Actually, we'll get into the injury news here. Lemonheads first round pick CeeDee Lamb will miss the next 3 to 4 games after suffering a high ankle sprain against the Bears. Big goose egg for yours truly this past week. Hot Tamales running back. Speaking of Giants, Tyrone Tracy separated his shoulder and will be out possibly 2 to 4 weeks. How about we just keep going down the line and hosts here? Butterfinger's favorite wide receiver Terry McLaurin injured his quadriceps, easy for me to say, against the Raiders and is getting more tests to find the severity of the injury. They're not sure if he'll suit up against the Falcons, but Terry McLaurin, kind of a disappointing season so far. How about another injury in the wide receiver realm? This time, Mike Evans, Cooper's cousin's wide receiver, low-grade hamstring injury, and is slated to miss 3 to 4 weeks. Boy, those hamstrings can be scary. And how about Gonzo Cat starting running back James Conner will miss the rest of the season due to an ankle injury. That'll open things up for Trey Benson, who currently sits on the Lion Rip roster. And rounding out rest of season injuries, Najee Harris, who, if you're watching that Bronco game, you saw him go down, you knew it wasn't good. Tore his Achilles. And those are extremely hard to come back from. Not impossible, but harder than other injuries. Any other injuries that I missed this week, gentlemen? There's some big ones on there for this past week.
I think that was
CeeDee Lamb going down. Tough.
That's
Dag nabbit.
Well, I mean, whoever is George Pickens, they're going to benefit. They're going to benefit from. He's going to benefit from that for sure. So,
well, sounds like you benefited from it as well. Jake Ferguson.
Yep. Oh yeah.
He almost forgot.
He almost forgot. Yep. Finally, a tight end steps up for him, and he's like, "Nah, forget him." All right. Well, let's just keep going down the line here. Week 3 recap. Let's start with the 1-1 Chad Powers fan club as they faced off against 0-2 Gonzo Cats. Not a lot of points scored in this one, but it was actually quite exciting at the end. Chad Powers had to start Aaron Rodgers with Jaden McDaniels on the sideline. The crazy old pea drinker can only find 31 points, but Miles' trade acquisition of A.J. Brown, boy, that paid off big time as the Eagle wide receiver tallied a season-high 17 points. And, of course, as Todd just mentioned, CeeDee Lamb injured. Gonzo Cats got double figures from George Pickens, who reached 13 points, 5 receptions, and a TD, but just got a grand total of 7 points from Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. Pollen, for sure, figured he won the dough of the week going with Bo Nix instead of Justin Herbert, as the Chargers QB outscored the Broncos QB 44-29. So we head into that final game of the week. The Ravens versus Lions. Chad Powers fan club was up by 54 points, and Gonzo Cat still had Jahmyr Gibbs, Mark Andrews, and kicker Tyler Loop. Well, Gibbs, he balled out to the tune of 25 points. He had 5 receptions, 2 rushing touchdowns, and then the Ravens kicker Loop had 1 field goal and 3 extra points. And now the surprise of week 3 came from Andrews, who only managed to score 2, count them 2 total fantasy points through the first 2 weeks. With Todd saying, as we mentioned, Mark Andrews was finished. Pollen, starting tight end, scored a TD in the third quarter, but still found himself down with one Ravens drive to go. And guess what happens? Lamar Jackson finds Andrews, who catches a long pass, runs around a safety for the touchdown, and the 119.58 to 119.24 victory. Less than a point. That is 0.61. Now those two will clinch their buttholes here over the next day or two. I can't remember when the stat correction happens, but it could, and change how things play out. Is it tonight, Miguel, or is it Wednesday? Do you remember?
I think it's Wednesday.
Okay, so they got to clinch those buttholes a little tighter over the next 24 hours or so. Anything I missed about that, Miguel? Let me know if I missed anything, because I know that a lot happened and I'm trying to keep up with everything, but just yell at me or stop me if I miss something. Next matchup, 1-1, the NWA versus 0-2 Belt Sanders, Lamar Jackson versus Jalen Hurts, and both had at least 50 points. Both had 3 passing TDs. Allen's team saw Devontae Smith have his best game of the season, catching 8 passes and a TD for 17 points. And Travis Etienne Jr. reached double digits for the third straight week. The NWA's flex of Chris Olave has been okay this season and reached 10 or more for the first time in 2025. What year are we looking at? 2025. This game came down to Monday night. Again, Derrick Henry scored an early touchdown, but a late fumble put the Belt Sanders ahead. Lamar Jackson, however, passed for a late TD, and it was the NWA ahead for the final of 125.52 to 123.52. The NWA improves to 2-1. The Belt Sanders came so very close to grabbing their first win, but Lamar Jackson finishes with 54 points. Every point matters, ladies and gentlemen. How about another game that was decided by less than 2 points? 1-1 Cooper's Cousins versus 1-1 Eaton W's. After a paltry 25 points from Josh Allen in week 2, Kevin's first round pick bounced back to score 51 with 3 pass TDs and 22 completions. Roma Dunze, folks, said week 2 was no fluke and found the end zone once again, scored 12 points in the league. And he's the league's fifth highest scoring running back in Javonte Williams. Put together yet another 10 plus on the week. On the other side, Cooper's Cousins didn't get much from Baker Mayfield and his 38 points, but saw his flex position of Ricky Pearsall rack up 13 points, while also getting 15 from the Broncos starting running back, Todd, and J.K. Dobbins, not R.J. Harvey. This one also came down to the Monday night affair. Dillon left Baltimore's defense in his lineup against those Lions, and they scored 38 points, and the Ravens defense finished with less than 1 point. They also got 6.65 points from starting tight end Sam Laporta. Despite the terrible day from Zay Flowers, Kevin had the Ravens wide receiver with one more drive from the Ravens to go, needing only 1 catch for 7 yards to take the victory. Well, Lamar never looked his way. Cooper's Cousins hangs on for the victory to improve to 1-2, and Eaton W's, they fall to 1-2. So big time win for Cooper's Cousins to sneak away to earn his first victory on the season. How did 1-1 Butterfingers do against 2-0 Lion Rip? Jonathan Taylor, the MHA's running back leader in points, piled up 32 of them on 3 rushing touchdowns and reaching the century mark on the rushing end of things. And Kyron Williams looking like his old self, 18 points, a receiving touchdown, 94 rush yards. And how about Tyreek Hill for the second straight week? Boy, I can't talk today. Hitting double figures. Lion Rip scored 133 points, but Todd's squad raced to an impressive 158 points, the second most on the weekend. Puka doing Puka things, 17 points, 11 catches. CMC, he had double figures in catches as well. He ended up finishing with 19 points. Recent tight end pickup in Jake Ferguson. Butterfingers had 11 players reach 11 points or more to pick up their second win of the season, while Aaron's team drops their first game of the year. Todd, well done on the Jake Ferguson pickup, 13 catches. Some of your thoughts on this week's victory?
It feels good. Get to be 2-1. I mean, Puka has been freaking phenomenal. Phenomenal. He was my second round pick. Has been phenomenal. CMC doing CMC things. Another running back. Quentin Sean Jenkins from the Browns. I drafted him I think toward the end of the draft, and everybody's like, is he even going to play? And he sure is playing now. And I think he put himself as the number one running back in that backfield. But all around, this is the type of wins you want. You want for the majority of all your players to score double digits, and except for McLaurin, who got hurt, I'm very happy. So I think I have to just wait on Scary Terry and see what happens with him. But I think I have some good options just in case if he doesn't play. But no, it felt good to get the win. I mean, I've always said this. I'll say this till the end of time, until our league goes, keeps going to the end of time.
I wouldn't touch a 10-foot pole.
Exactly.
Fantastic. What are we going with?
Is when I play Eric, when I play you, Mikey, or Aaron, I always feel like I'm like, you guys are like because obviously you guys created this league. You guys like the founding fathers of this league, and I'm always feel like I'm playing the best of the best. Because let's face it, between you, Mikey, Aaron, and me, we have the most championships. So I feel like when I play you guys, it's playing the best of the best because it's of what to do. So it's always good to beat Aaron because obviously Aaron's the only one that has the back-to-back championships. So obviously it's always good to beat Aaron. No, it was all around. Even I'll say even DJ Moore, because I've been frustrated with him too, because obviously all the passes and touchdowns have been going to Odunze with the Bears, but he got a late touchdown. So that just tells you right there. All right, you're gonna have I'm probably gonna win because when a player that hasn't really done a whole lot gets a touchdown for you, it's pretty good. So I feel good, and I want to keep this momentum going.
Feels good.
Yes, sir.
Another blowout came in the Hot Tamales versus Notorious CUP matchup. Quain's prediction of Drake May having a great 2025 has worked out so far. 3 straight weeks he's done well. This week, 51 points against the Steelers, but his other predictions hasn't fared too well. Just 6 points from Travion Henderson, 5 from the other rookie, Tet McMillan, and 6 from Lad McConkey. Hot Tamales, however, saw 56 from Caleb Williams, who leads all MHA quarterbacks in scoring from this past weekend. James Cook, another 20-burger for the second straight week, and second-round pick Amon-Ra St. Brown thrived in that Monday night game with 16, 141-106. Tamales now sit at 2-1. CUP falls for the first time this year at 2-1. Mikey didn't seem like he had to sweat too hard this week. And Caleb Williams, the guy that's kind of stepping up for Joe Burrow, doing really well for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw in the first couple weeks that, without a quarterback, my team was still competing
Right.
pretty well. So, yeah, I feel like, with a quarterback actually playing up to standard, like my team shows what it can really do. And I didn't even have I was missing a tight end.
Zero from Kate Otten, and he still scored 141 points.
Yeah.
James Cook, ladies and gentlemen. He has been incredible. So we'll finish with the last matchup, and that's yours truly, who scored the 4th highest point total in week 3 with 139, but unfortunately went up against the team that had the most points scored at 162, and that was Kilgore Trout. Jordan Mason came out of nowhere. Well, I won't say came out of nowhere, but I mean, 23 points is a lot coming in for the injured Aaron Jones. Mason had 2 rushing touchdowns. Seattle's defense pounded on the lowly Saints, had a return touchdown and finished with 24 points. And with Zach Charbonnet on the shelf, Kenny Walker reached the goal line twice for 17 points. Eric's squad got a lovely 36 from the Vikings defense, but it was all for naught. Cortland Sutton rebounded from a bad week to catch 6 passes for a TD and hitting the century mark. But they got a big fat goose egg from CeeDee Lamb, who was hurt early in that game. And Goff, despite his team scoring 38 points, managed only 34 for the QB, because that's what's going to happen when you have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery eating up just chunks on that less than impressive Ravens defense. And so the Lemonheads fall for the first time this season. They're 2-1. And then on the other side there for Kilgore Trout, they improved to 2-1. All right. And so that was the week 3 recap. Doe of the week. Mikey, there was a couple of candidates out there, as you and I were kind of talking about it yesterday, but is there one that stands out amongst all of them?
Boy, I mean, Kevin, you can go so many ways. So
Maybe
many
that's
ways
why
with
you
this
should
one.
win because he had so many options.
I almost kind of want to give it to him though, because Keenan Allen's been performing every week.
Yep, Kevin. He's like a top 6 or 7 wide receiver on the season.
Yeah, and you know how much I love Zay Flowers, so it was funny that he was the one that let him down.
Kevin kind of felt it too. He was setting a gif and about how his thoughts on having to rely on Zay Flowers, despite him having such a good first couple of weeks. He had 20 points and 11 points, but 3 passing touchdowns from Lamar and couldn't do it. Couldn't overcome it. But yeah, Kevin had 4 players who scored 11 or more points on his bench, including 28 from David Montgomery and 21 from Cam Scatabo. Obviously, injury opened things up for him. The other one that I had on my list here was Belt Sanders. Of course, he lost by less than a point, or less than 2 points, excuse me. Started the 49ers defense against the Cardinals and didn't start the Broncos against the Chargers. The Broncos had 16, while the Niners had just 9, but I think it's going to have to be Kevin. You feel the same way there, Todd?
Yeah, I was gonna say that I was gonna say the Broncos defense won, but yeah, I don't know. Allen's 0-3. I don't think we want to pour any more onto him. Yeah, I'll go with Kevin. I'll go with Kevin.
Well, sorry, Kay.
No, 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 no.
All right, now it's time to go over to the studs of the week.
The cream of the crop. Nobody does it better.
Mikey, give me a stud from week 3.
Well, I'm gonna take a page out of Todd's book. He likes to pick his own guys,
Oh,
and
really?
so
We're following
yeah,
this? That's how we're doing this week?
I have to just because Caleb Williams performed so well,
It's pretty
like
good.
even above my expectation for him. You know, I know it was against the very crappy Dallas Cowboys defense, but to come out with 56 points and 4 touchdown passes, uh, he was just incredible all day long. I can't expect that every week, but hey, first week out, off my bench, I love it.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of expectations because of just what they were able to put around him. And you were telling me a little bit. I mean, you got to see the game. I didn't get to see it, but you were telling me like, oh, you could see the talent, but you could see the frustrations as well. And so, as long as he's putting up points, right? He had 4 touchdown passes, 19 completions, almost 300 yards. There's weapons. We've seen it in Odunze. We've seen it and some a little bit in DeAndre Swift. And of course, DJ Moore coming a little slowly, but there's weapons over there and he should be able to flourish. So Caleb Williams is pretty good. Todd, give me a stud.
Jordan Mason.
Screw that
2
guy.
rushing. Yeah, no. Like, screw that guy. Yeah, Jordan Mason. I mean, hey, he was able to do a little bit of it when he was in San Francisco and when CMC went out, and now that Aaron Jones is he's hurt, he's come in and picked up right where he left off in San Francisco. So 23 points. That's pretty good. That's again for a player that I don't know if Jordan Mason got drafted, but yeah,
he was drafted.
No, he was drafted. Pretty good there. 23 points. That's because especially too with Carson Wentz being the quarterback now, it's like, all right, just hand the ball to Jordan Mason. So good on Joe for that one.
Well, he'll be tested. I mean, Cincinnati's bad.
Yeah,
Really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Todd could go in there and rush for 100 yards because they're that bad. But they have Pittsburgh and Cleveland next 2 weeks. So we'll see if Jordan Mason can keep that up. Don't we have to go with Mark Andrews as one of the studs? 22 points, 6 receptions, 2 TDs, including the go-ahead TD for the Conso Cats on one of the last plays of the game outside of the victory formation. So huge to come away. I mean, it feels like such a big deficit that they had to kind of come back from, and then they get 2 touchdowns from Mark Andrews, including the game winner. Big time. Mikey, give me another stud. Oh, do we lose Miguel?
No,
Mhm.
I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, you're
I'm,
just
I'm gonna
flipping
go
around.
with No, I thought I lost you guys for a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
As you mentioned prior, R.J. Harvey,
Who?
not the guy, at least not yet. Dobbins has been pretty consistent so far this year, and he's getting the carries. They're giving him the red zone touches too, and yeah, I mean, if he can keep this up, I mean, he's got a stranglehold on that number one job, and you know, was got Cooper's Cousins his first win. So good job, J.K.
14 or more points in all 3 of the games so far, including a touchdown in every game so far. I think we know who the starting running back is going forward.
Yep, and I have him in both leagues. Hooray! RJ Harvey in both
Oh
leagues.
man, Todd
Fantastic.
loved him some RJ Harvey. Got to watch out for those rookies. They're
I
not
know.
always going to come through. Todd, give me
Gotta
another
put,
stud.
all right, I'm just gonna go off on my team because I have to. But Puka has been freaking phenomenal. Been phenomenal. I mean, hasn't scored a touchdown, but well, he scored one. Scored one, a rushing touchdown. But he's been. I mean, he's been Stafford's like number one target. I mean, obviously Adams has been getting, you know, obviously a lot of targets and scoring touchdowns as well too. But Puka's just been on a different level. I mean, 11 receptions for 112 yards. Yes, please. More.
Yes,
So
please. Todd says, give me that all day. Puka leads
yeah.
the MHA in points scored by wide receivers over Amon-Ra St. Brown, over Adunze, Trey Tucker from Las Vegas, number 4, for all what all that's worth, and Keenan Allen, 5th. Last stud, and I'll just mention Todd's guy there, Jake Ferguson. Picked him up, didn't score a touchdown, but 13 passes. Obviously, the big beneficiary from the CeeDee Lamb injury. 17 points. How often do we see Todd pick up a tight end and it works? And he
Yeah,
helped him
not
beat
very
Aaron.
often.
Wild stuff in week 3.
Not very often.
Not very awesome. Often. Yeah, let's go to the duds.
This is the worst. You are the worst. I hate looking at your face. I want to smash it.
Todd, we'll go with you first this time.
All right, I'm gonna go. Chase Brown. 5 points.
Yep.
5 points, and and I think a lot of us were high on him.
Yeah, you guys were.
Yeah, so he just hasn't. I don't know whether it's. I mean, again, it's maybe the Joe Burrow effect. I don't know what it is, but he's just not. He's just not producing the way. I mean, I had him. I think I had top 10. Yeah, he's not producing like a top 10 running back. So yeah, not. But again, we talked about in the intro. That whole Bengals offense is not good at the moment. But yeah, Chase Brown not good. They gotta find ways to get him the ball more. They gotta find him. Whether they hand the ball to him or they try to get passes to him because it's whatever they're doing right now isn't working.
They've had a
It's
tough
not-
schedule so far. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously Minnesota is great, but for Chase, I mean, even with his 10 attempts for 3 yards, obviously that game script kind of changed things for him in that offense. But I figured he would score more, at least in terms of checkdowns and receptions, and just 4 receptions for 17 yards. But that was a crazy game for Minnesota too. You hope he turns it around, but then he's got Denver, Detroit, and Green Bay, and those are pretty good defenses. So going to be tough. Mikey, you give me a dud from this past week.
So I'm sticking with Chad Powers here, and I'm going with Saquon Barkley only because in the 2 games where Saquon Barkley played against the Rams last year, he averaged over 200 yards rushing. Both games was over 200 yards rushing with 2
Jeez.
touchdowns. And so maybe the Rams in an offseason figured out how to stop him, but to only have 46 yards rushing in a game where, they scored 33 points is, just not good.
Saquon Barkley. Under 10 points, I should say. I think he ended up with 8 or 9. One that I had was Zay Flowers, and we talked about why. So I don't have to go into it too deep, but obviously Kevin needing that Ravens wide receiver just to have a couple of catches and he would have won the week. And, Mikey, you and I were joking and Mikey called him a fraud. And of course it showed up on Monday night. I mean, he was good in his first 2 weeks. I don't want to crap on him too hard, but he's one of those guys that's going to have good weeks and he's going to have nothing weeks. And he had a big nothing week where he didn't even need him for that much. And he didn't come through. Todd, give me another dud.
All right, I'm gonna go with where's I gonna go? Ramon Gene Stevenson. Only 2 points.
2 fumbles.
2 fumbles. Yeah, 2 fumbles.
2 points and 2 fumbles.
Not good. I mean, again, the only thing that's working well with for that Patriots offense is Drake May, but the running game, not so much. I mean, both the running backs haven't been, whether it's been Henderson or Stevenson, have not been, haven't been up to what they were expecting. So, yeah, not good at all. Not good. I mean, I wasn't high on Stevenson anyway, but
yeah, maybe the Patriots, a lot of people are, with May doing what he's doing, but they're 1-2, the Patriots on the season, and 14 and 13 points in those two. It doesn't help when their backup, Antonio Gibson's also fumbling the ball, and Travion hasn't figured anything out on that end either. So, yeah, hope you didn't invest too much in those New England Patriots on the outside of Drake May. I can't say too many bad things about Drake May, who's averaging almost 50 points a game. Mikey, give me another dud.
Gonna go with Travis Kelce.
Yeah, that was my last one too.
What's so weird about this is I know, like, when you were down on him when we were doing the tight ends podcast, it was more about, you thought he's older and he may be washed at this point. I still don't know if I'd necessarily believe that to be true, but there is definitely some sort of a disconnect going on with him and with the team right now. Like, watching them, it just looks like they're not on the same. Him and Mahomes are not on the same page. He's constantly yelling at everybody when he's on the field. I don't know if it's the Taylor Swift thing. I don't know if it's his podcast. He's got like too much, stuff going on right now, but it's definitely affecting his play. That I know for sure. And so he is not off to a great start, and it's hurting Aaron because he's got both guys right now, Mahomes and Kelce.
Would you say he needs to shake it off? I had to throw that bad pun in there. I'm sorry.
That is a bad pun.
Goodness gracious.
Come on, you know that was coming. I had to.
Yeesh. I and he is underperforming well below than I thought he was. Even for me, who wasn't high on him, I thought for sure that he would still kind of rack up the completions, but there's injuries on the wide receiver staff, and he's still not putting up big numbers, which is very concerning. And I watched some of that Chiefs game because it was a Sunday night game, so I didn't have to work. And I mean, it's more Mahomes just running around trying to find people, and then he books it. And it's not a consistent. You're right. It's not like they're on the same page. It just doesn't look right. And I don't know if that's just the lack of weapons or it doesn't look like they're double teaming Kelce, but he's just not one that can go out there. And if Mahomes is running to his right or running to his left, that Kelce is young enough to keep up with that anymore. He's an old man in the NFL terms, and I just don't think he's that good. I thought maybe he would still be good in the catch department, maybe catch 6 or 7 passes for 50 or 60 yards, but that just hasn't been the case. All right. So we're only at 34 minutes. So I put together a quick game. It's not really a game. It's just more of, I want you guys to gauge, is this for real? So I have some names. You guys let me know on a scale of 1 to 10. If it's real, 1, that it's not real, and 10, absolutely going forward, you can expect it. And so we kind of mentioned already, but how about Drake May, who has 47 points in week 1, 49 in week 2, 51 in week 3, 5 touchdowns. He also has 87 rush yards for Rush TV. He's third amongst all of our quarterbacks in scoring behind Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Mikey, is Drake May for real? Give me that 1 to 10 rating.
I'll give it an 8. I think it's real.
Wow, high rating. That's a high rating.
Yeah, just watching him, like, I think it's real because it has to be for New England to have any sort of chance. Like, their running game has been so putrid with Stevenson and Travion Henderson that New England's turned into a team that's had to throw the ball. And then when they're able to run successfully, they do that with Drake May's legs. So, yeah, I do think it's very real.
He has got a 72% passing completion percentage, 7.4 yards per attempt, and the big thing is his completions. He had 30 completions in week 1. He had 19 in week 2, but he had 2 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown, and then he had 28 completions. So even in a situation where they're 1 and 2 on the season and having to play from behind, as they did with those 2 high completion games. I'm scared to call. I don't know if I'd go 8. I'd probably lean more towards the 6 area, but we'll see when he does against tougher opponents. Todd, do you want to give me a number between 1 and 10 for Drake May and his realness?
Well, I mean, just looking at his schedule, I mean, Buffalo and maybe Tampa sprinkled in there. I mean, you got Baltimore. I say it's a 9. I mean, the opponents and the matchups they have the next few weeks. I mean, if he ain't throwing for 3 or 4 touchdowns. I mean, again, it's New Orleans, you got Tennessee, you have Cleveland, you have Atlanta. You may have some trouble against obviously Buffalo or the Buffalo or maybe Tampa, but
Tampa.
Tampa's defense isn't,
They're currently
Cleveland's real, by the way, Todd. Cleveland is real.
I think
Cleveland is
yeah.
real.
Cleveland's pretty good defensively. They may not score a lot of points, but they can get to that quarterback.
Yeah, but but hey, if they have to keep throwing the ball, then I'll go with a 9. I'll go with a 9.
That's all right. A lot of realness for Drake May. How about Rome Odunze, excuse me. 13 points in week 1, 25 in week 2, 12 in week 3, 4 touchdowns in 3 games. He is 3rd in the MHA amongst wide receivers. Todd, 1 to 10. How real is this for the Bears at wide receiver? For someone who has, DJ Moore, this may hurt to talk about.
Yeah, I might be a little biased here. I'll go about a 7. I'll go about a 7. Because obviously Caleb Williams obviously is has been going to Odunze a lot, and yeah, I'll go with a 7. I mean, obviously this is what Bears fans want to see. So yeah, I'll go with a 7. I think Odunze is definitely cementing himself as maybe the number 1 wide receiver, but I mean obviously depending on matchups and everything like that, but Odunze does seem to be the number 1 target that Caleb Williams likes to go to. So I mean obviously I want Caleb Williams to throw the ball more to DJ Moore, but we're not going to talk about that.
Mikey, what do you think? You feel the same about Odunze, a 7?
I got him at a 10. I think that's something that started at the end of last season where the shift came, and he started building that rapport with Caleb Williams last year. And it's only grown. You can tell in the offseason, like, they're comfortable with each other. In the red zone, like, even, he's got 2 touchdowns already in the red zone, but like you could tell even the incompletions, like he's looking for a Dunze down there. So yeah, I believe it's 100% real.
Wow. Like he doesn't give out a lot of 100%. All right.
Yeah, I think I haven't seen a lot of the games, but I mean, it seems like the synergy between Williams. I mean, let's not forget that Dunze was he 9th overall
Yeah.
last year, and so a top 10 wide receiver. Most of the time, those guys pan out, and so for him to see, I'm not think I'm going to go for a 10. I still think, I don't know. He's probably the better prototypical wide receiver as opposed to DJ Moore. They gave all that money to him, but I mean, it's got to be high. I would probably be in the same kind of 7 realm as Todd, and we'll see. Because I mean, obviously I'm not saying he's not great, but can Caleb Williams keep it up?
Yeah,
We've seen some bad games. We've seen the offensive line struggle at times, but I still think he's a primo talent. But can everything else around him work in that same regard? Let's talk about another wide receiver, Miguel Chris Olave. Not the same numbers as a Dunze, but he's had 13 targets in week 1, 10 in week 2, 14 in week 3. He's got 21 receptions, 161 yards, no touchdowns, but this is someone that obviously was injured last year, but even before he was injured, he wasn't doing much. We were concerned about the New Orleans offense with Spencer Rattler. Is this someone that could be fantasy worthy? I'm not saying he has to be a fantasy superstar, but fantasy worthy going forward for the rest of the year, 1 to 10.
I'm gonna go 3.
Ooh, not believing in it.
No, I'm not believing in it. From a sheer volume perspective, that would seem to be true. But at some point, you've got to worry about them switching quarterbacks on you. Like, how long are they going to roll while they're 0-3 already with Spencer Rattler when they drafted that Tyler Shook guy to give him an opportunity at some point this year? And so who knows what happens once he's in there. So my confidence level with Olave is relatively low.
If they stayed with Rattler, does that change things for you?
No, I just never been a fan of Olave. I'm just gonna be honest, and
Sure.
so
I mean, he's
I'm,
another
I'm
guy
gonna.
that was he was the 11th overall pick in 2022, and he's dealt with bad offenses. He's dealt with injuries. He doesn't have that same build as a Dunze, but they're, I think the targets are great, and obviously with a team that's behind pretty much every game, they're gonna have to throw a ton. And so I think he could be fantasy worthy. I'd probably be around more of that 5 to 6 range. What say you, Todd?
I'm pouring my like a 5. I mean, again, you don't know. The quarterback situation isn't good either way. I don't care who you have in there. It's just not. Yeah, I'm just anything beside Kamara is the only one in that offense that that's obviously fantasy worthy that I would feel comfortable with. I'm just Olave is just not. He's just it doesn't I don't feel comfortable. I'd rather have doing a Olave or DJ Moore. I'd rather pick DJ Moore.
Not feeling Chris Olave. Although we kind of picked the same number, and I feel like I believe in him more than you do. Let's go to one of Todd's guys here, and Quentin Johnston. Or was it the Calvin Johnson? Is that who is this guy? 20 points, 12 points, 10 points, 3 touchdowns in those 3 weeks, 7th in the MHA amongst wide receivers. Todd, how you feeling about Mr. Johnston from the Chargers?
Well, I think I'm right about an 8. An 8. An
Goodness
8.
gracious, really?
I know. I mean, he's either figured it out, he's had an epiphany or something, or he's climbed a mountain and I don't know. Like I say, he found it, and Justin Herbert is definitely going to him a lot, and everything. I mean, in some cases, I mean, it does seem like at least these first 3 weeks, it's kind of been a boomer bust. Like obviously he has like 3 touchdowns, but I mean, obviously the volume, but I think at least the way that Chargers offense is flowing right now, I'm again, I know it's on my team being biased, but I'm an 8. I'm an 8. He's definitely, at least he's shown. I mean, obviously the last few seasons, I mean, again, another player that I buried. I'm like, oh no, he's at least he's shown, at least he's shown consistency enough where obviously he's catching the football. That was the other problem too. He wasn't catching the football in previous years a lot. So I'm high on him now. I'm high on him now, and I think he's here to stay.
Here to stay. My concerns, Miguel, is Keenan Allen's in the mix. Lad McConkey, he's not going to be held down for that much longer. They still like to run the ball. I feel like he's going to be pretty volatile. So I would say a 3 to 4. What do you say?
I'm in the same range. I'm
Yeah.
not buying it. He's too reliant on having a big play. He's pretty much had one in each game. And so if he doesn't get that, then to me, he's not, fantasy relevant enough to be a consistent option. And so, whereas the other two receivers on that team with Keenan Allen and Lad McConkey, I feel like those guys are going to get a regular amount of targets each game, where I just don't see that I can rely on that with Johnson.
Well, he does have the Giants next week, so we'll see how that goes for him. Mikey, we have two more left. We have a couple running backs. Javonte Williams, he's got 54 points on the season, fifth amongst all running backs, 3 TDs, 13 receptions, 19, 23, and 11 points so far. What are your thoughts on Javonte Williams, 1 to 10?
So for the next 4 weeks, it's a 2. Uh, I
Green
just
Bay and
without CD.
Jets.
Well, no, it has nothing to do with the opponents. It's
Wow.
just that without CD Lamb, like Dallas's passing game is not very scary anymore, and teams can kind of do what they want defensively. You saw as soon as CD went out of that game, Chicago basically handled Dallas. It wasn't, you know, very hard at all. So I don't think Javante. I just don't see the value there. If Dallas can't throw and teams are just going to focus in on stop and run, then yeah, I don't like Javante.
Javonte is averaging 5.3 yards per carry and 75 rush yards per game to go along with those 3 touchdowns. And on the receiving end, we knew he was capable of that after getting 99 in the previous 2 years. What do you think about Javonte Williams, Todd?
I'm at a 4 and 5 just because I do agree to with CeeDee Lamb being out. And again, we've seen the good, we've seen the bad with that offense. Obviously when Dak is on and he's spreading out the ball to the wide receivers, Javonte definitely benefits from that. But let's see how the Cowboys do without CeeDee Lamb on the field, and see if Javonte can maybe take advantage of that, and if teams stack the box and everything, and see what they can do. So I'm kind of I'll say right out of 5. I'll say right out of 5 for Javonte, to see what he can do.
All right,
Let's see what they can do. Because like I said, let's see. It's always, with this exercise that we're doing is, let's see how these players do when another one of the star players or another player that's important that's out. Let's see how they do from there.
Okay, last one, Travis Etienne, 17 points, 16 points, 11 points, 2 total touchdowns. I think a lot. I mean, I felt he was the highest rated running back for me in the Jacksonville offense. Other folks, obviously, with the rookie in that mix, and gosh, it's escaping me. Who's the other guy, Miguel?
Tootin?
Tootin, but who's the other guy that was the big time guy last year, that kind of middle of the
Bigsby.
season? Thank you, Tank Bigsby. So I think a lot of folks had those guys over him, but Mike, I'll start with Todd actually. How are we feeling about Travis Etienne? He seems to be kind of the lone offensive threat for Jacksonville, so that may stunt how high his ceiling can go. But so far, he's surprised all of us.
Yeah, Etienne is very interesting. Like you want to say, like, you want to say, well, he might be for real because he's you're right. He's the only consistent, offensive weapon in that Jaguars offense. But can he sustain this? So I'm gonna go with a 5 again. Let's go with a 5 because let's see if he can keep this going, and again, when maybe against opponents that are even like have really good defenses, let's see how well he does, with against good defenses. Because if he can do that against good defenses, hey, I'll change that. I'll change that number to a 10. So, but right now, yeah, I'm right at a 5. I'm just not sure. Like I want to give him a high number because what he's doing, and he might, and if anything, the way if he keeps doing this, hey, when we talk about the end of the season, what was a surprise fantasy football player? Travis Etienne. But let's see if he can keep it going.
Etienne averaging close to 6 yards per carry so far. Is that sustainable, Miguel?
I mean, this Jaguars team has shown that they believe in him, the coaching staff and everything. I like how Todd's playing the middle.
Yeah, he's always done that.
If he's on Todd's team, 10. If he's not, I'll go with a 5.
Yep,
we know the
that's what I do.
Todd. We know how things work in the Todd universe for sure by this point.
Yeah,
Yep.
but no, I have ETN. I would go 7. I think Liam Cohen and the Jag staff shown that they believe he's their number one running back option in that offense. I mean, as long as he gets the carries, I think that it's definitely sustainable for him to continue to be a good fantasy asset week to week.
Yeah, it was only a couple years ago where he ran over 1,000 yards, and he's always been pretty solid in terms of getting catches. So, in terms of being where he's at and averaging around 10 points a game, I think that's totally viable. So, I was going to say 7 to 8 in that regard as well. Okay, so gentlemen, week 4 schedule, top team in the league, yours truly, 2-1, leads the league in scoring, takes on 1-2 Eaton W's. How about a couple of 2-1 teams going at it in this upcoming week? 4th place Butterfingers facing off against 5th place Hot Tamales. Ooh, the hosts going at it this week. 2nd place Lion Rip going toe-to-toe with the NWA. That's a kind of a rivalry in itself. 2-1 Kilgore Trout taking on 1-2 Cooper's Cousins. How about 2-1 Notorious DUP will battle 1-2 Chad Powers Fan Club. And 1-2 Gonzo Cats looking to get their 2nd win in a row against 0-3 Belt Sanders, hoping to avoid an 0-4 start. We have a couple of minutes left on the show. Mikey, do you want to talk about your matchup? How are you feeling about your week 4 matchup with, of course, the gentleman on the other side of this broadcast?
I like how the scheduling works because I got a couple of guys on Thursday, so it gives me a reason to, tune into that game. My kicker's on Sunday night, and then I got Brees Hall on Monday night to round it out. So, yeah, I'll have guys at the beginning to get excited about, guy at the end to see if I need him or not to win. So, yeah, I feel good.
Todd's favored by, what is that, 1.45 points. So, Todd, does that make you feel great about your matchup with Miguel, or are you concerned?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel confident going in. I feel confident. I think my team definitely is very capable, but if I get another goose egg from Mike can get another goose egg from his tight end, that'd be nice too. But obviously, still ended up winning anyway. But yeah, feel confident.
Mikey's team is good, no doubt about it.
It's really good. It's not you look at it. It's not like it's star power, but it's not like, I don't know. It's yeah. You have Brown, and you have James Cook, but you kind of have Brees Hall in there a little bit. Who obviously, a lot of people were down coming into this season, and and so forth. So Mikey's team is Mike doesn't always go for the star power. He goes for the players that's going to get him the most points, and that's not always the big names. I think in fantasy football, like sometimes go for the big names, and those are the players that are going to get you all the points. No, wrong. Nope. You go.
How dare you go for Joe Burrow, who's not a star, Miguel? What's wrong with you?
Well, but I'm just saying, just in general, like Mikey doesn't fill his team with all superstars on his team.
No, see, Todd, you got it wrong. Mikey doesn't fill his team with rookies.
Yep, that's right. You got to watch out for the rookies.
Well, well, in that case, you're referring to that in my other league that I filled my team with rookies and I'm 0-3. So yeah, you're right. You're right. Don't. Rookies are nice, but they're not. They still have training wheels on them.
Well, I was going to talk about my team, but we're out of time. Todd spent a lot of time talking about his team and how confident he felt. Took him 5 minutes to say why, but
awesome.
He feels confident. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the MHA podcast. Good luck to everybody in week 4. If it is as exciting as week 3, should be another fun one. Of course, we have a game at 7:30 on Sunday in the morning, so make sure you get all your lineup stuff in before that if you have anybody in that game. Eric Lansing, Todd Diamond, Mikey Renault. We'll see you next time.